Okay, today's lesson is Lesson 2, Bugs in the Vegetable Garden. Have you ever wondered where people got vegetables from before they went to grocery stores? Long ago, many homes had their own garden. Wealthy people often paid others to care for their gardens and to cook for them, but average families tended their own gardens, planting, watering, weeding, and harvesting. Many people around the world still grow their own food today. Some people grow large amounts of fruits and vegetables to sell, while others simply grow enough to provide fresh food for their family. The satisfaction that comes from biting into a salad made with vegetables straight from the garden is hard to beat, and the explosion of flavor is nothing like you can achieve with grocery store vegetables that have been sitting on a shelf or on a delivery truck for an undetermined amount of time. You may have never thought about what kind of bugs you can find among freshly grown vegetables. If you see bugs among the vegetables in the store, it seems gross. But if you find bugs among your vegetables in the garden, it is perfectly normal and part of the growing process. In fact, without bugs, your garden wouldn't be a healthy place at all. But not all bugs are beneficial. Some bugs are harmful pests to plants, and they can cause gardeners a lot of grief. Many commercial growers use chemicals called pesticides to kill off insects in their gardens and greenhouses. Unfortunately, certain pesticides can harm beneficial insects as well, especially if they're not used appropriately. It is possible to manage the pest population of a garden without harsh chemicals, but it requires a good understanding of the ecosystem of your garden. Potato beetle. Potato beetles are beetles are bright and look a lot like a fun thing, but don't let this cheery appearance fool you. These nasty pests prefer the tasty leaves of nightshade plants like potatoes, tomatoes, and peppers. In a potato field, if they manage to eat 1/4 of the leaves, the number of potatoes that are produced is affected. If they eat more, the plants will die and nothing will come of it. There are over 40 species of potato beetle that live in the North and South America. The most common in the U.S. and Canada is the Colorado potato beetle. The black and white stripes on the insect's body give it a distinctive appearance that is easy to spot in the black soil or green leaves of a potato patch. Potato beetles are unique creatures. From the time the egg is laid until they are fully matured can take anywhere from 30 to 41 days, depending on factors such as temperature and humidity. In cold climates, these beetles sleep the winter away, buried deep beneath the snow. When adults wake up after winter, they eat from 5 to 10 days before they mate. One adult potato beetle can lay over 300 eggs in about 5 weeks. The eggs are bright yellow and found on the bottom side of the leaves. The eggs hatch in 4 to 10 days, but this depends on temperature and humidity. Once the eggs have hatched, the orange-colored larvae feed on leaves unless they are molting, which they do for about 3 weeks. When larvae are mature, they drop to the soil and burrow as far down as 2 inches, where they become a pupa. In 10 to 15 days, they will emerge a full-grown potato bug. A fun fact is that false potato beetles have green, cream, and black or brown stripes and are found primarily in the eastern United States and Canada. But they can be found as far west as Texas and as far south as parts of Mexico. These beetles can also be identified in their larval state by their light color and single row of dots compared to the potato beetle's orange color and double row of dots.
Praying mantis. The praying mantis is perhaps one of the most iconic bugs of all time. Its folded arms appear much like praying hands and are inspiration for its name. There are close to 2,000 species of mantises in the world. They come in a variety of colors, including green, brown, and white. Some even have purple and pink markings. Praying mantises are a benefit to a vegetable garden. While bugs like potato beetles are considered pests because they eat the plants in a garden, praying mantises look for other insects to snack on, although they do not only eat bugs that are bad for the garden. In most gardens, any bug who eats other bugs is a welcome guest. Mantises live in the areas that are temperate or tropical. If there are mantises in your area, you can often capture them and release them in your garden to help with pest control. You can even order egg sacs online to add to your garden. The praying mantises seem to enjoy capturing its food. Its beautifully camouflaged body blends into a variety of habitats. Its many eyes allow it to see its prey very well before the prey suspects the mantises are near. The head of the mantis is also equipped to turn 180 degrees. It feeds on insects such as grasshoppers. Ooh, we need to get some of those for our strawberries. Crickets, flies, and other mantises and moths. Sometimes they even eat larger animals like frogs or hummingbirds.
Wow.
They are known for the tendency of the female mantis to eat her mate. They have spikes on their legs to hold their prey in place while they eat, poised to strike at any moment. The mantis quietly approaches its prey, ensuring it is within striking distance before it attacks. Bumblebees. Have you ever seen a bumblebee sleepily crawling around on your windowsill in the spring? There are about 265 species of bumblebees in the world today. These bees have a unique life cycle. The sleepy bees you see in the spring are queen bees that have hibernated all through the winter. They wake up in the spring to establish a new colony. A queen will make a cluster of cells and lay several eggs in each cell. Her young are provided with food as they grow, and the new bees are important pollinators for your garden, especially for several delicious foods like strawberries and tomatoes. Unlike other bees, bumblebees are often seen in homes because they like to nest in small cavities, like old mouse nests. Bumblebees are large, fluffy bees that are beneficial insects for your garden. So, if you see a slow bumblebee in the spring, don't squish it. Help the sweet bee outside so she can bring pollinating power to your garden. Bumblebees are wonderful creatures. You can identify them by their distinctive black, orange, and yellow bands. These bees have longer tongues than most other bees, making them able to pollinate many different types of flowers. They are very beneficial in the garden. If you see a sleepy bumblebee in your house in the spring, put a cup over it and slide a paper under the cup. Then, carefully take the paper and the cup outside to release her so she can lay her eggs. Caterpillars. Caterpillars are the larval stage of many different butterflies and moths. Each species of moth or butterfly has its own distinct caterpillar. There are over 20,000 species of caterpillars found all over the world. These caterpillars range in appearance and color from fuzzy or spiky looking to smooth. They have many different colors from white to bright yellow or green. Some of them even have patterns like stripes or spots. A common caterpillar in the vegetable garden is a cabbage butterfly caterpillar. These green caterpillars are nearly impossible to spot on the green leaves of a brassica plant, like cabbage or broccoli. Many amateur gardens have unsuspectingly cooked these caterpillars with fresh batch of broccoli from the garden. Cabbage butterflies are white butterflies that lay their eggs primarily on these plants to provide food for their larvae. Many experienced gardeners cover their crops that are susceptible to these bugs with a fine mesh so the moths can't lay their eggs. This eliminates the gross realization that you may have eaten a caterpillar when you take the last piece of cooked broccoli from the pot, revealing several steamed caterpillars that were living when you started steaming your delicious vegetables. During the course of their life, certain caterpillars can eat up to 27,000 times the weight of their own body. They feed on their host plants. Caterpillars can have up to 4,000 muscles in their body. Caterpillars use a wave-like motion to move. It starts at the back and waves toward the front. Caterpillars have 12 eyes but terrible eyesight. Some caterpillars eat plants with toxins in them to protect themselves from predators. Many creatures eat insects such as birds, other insects, reptiles, and mammals. In some parts of the world, caterpillars are considered a delicacy.
Good, huh? Stink bugs. These intriguing little bugs really live up to their names. Their odor has been compared to the scent of a strong coriander or cilantro or even to a skunk. The smell they emit is a defense mechanism to deter predators from eating them. It is released when they are squished or when they feel threatened. This undesirable odor doesn't keep all predators away. However, cardinals or bluebirds can help you with a stink bug problem. Other bugs that prey on stink bugs include manatees and spiders. A few stink bugs in your garden won't cause any real trouble, but an infestation can cause a real problem. Stink bugs like to live in rotting plant debris, so cleaning up dead plants around your garden reduces your chances of an infestation. You can also plant garlic, lavender, radishes, and other plants that don't like infestations. You can also plant that don't like in your garden to repel them. Not all stink bugs are destructive, though. One species of stink bug feeds on the larvae of the potato beetle, helping farmers and gardeners. Stink bugs even provide food for humans in some countries. Despite their obnoxious smell and tendency to destroy gardens, stink bugs are beautiful creatures. They are shaped like a shield. Sometimes they're called shield bugs. There are thousands of species of these bugs around the world, with over 200 species found in North America alone. There are iridescent green stink bugs, brown stink bugs, red and yellow stink bugs, among other colored schemes. They are a true bug. Their young do not go through a complete metamorphosis, but look familiar to their parents when they are born. There are many other bugs that can be found in the garden. There are beneficial ladybugs whose larvae eat destructive aphids and spiders that trap pests. Many more pollinators work alongside bumblebees. Earthworms work their soil to provide both fertilizer and airflow to plant roots. Snails and slugs can cause damage to an already waterlogged garden in a wet year, and mosquitoes can make it unbearable to even go to work in the garden when they come out. The garden is a delightful ecosystem full of both beneficial bugs and critters bent on eating your harvest. It is a delicate balance, but the reward of harvesting fresh snap peas to munch on in a hot summer sun or cutting into a freshly picked juicy watermelon makes every moment spent with garden bugs well worth it. This concludes Lesson 2. Don't forget